love that tune. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 30 of the HooperCast. It's me, Connor Dempsey, and this is my cast. Just wanted to say a quick couple things. First of all, I'm sorry this episode took so long to get out there. I think we recorded this originally on September 19th, and it's now like a week into October, so sorry about that. I had some other stuff to do. Anyway, I just wanted to say real quick that in this episode, Dawson and I spoil the Dark Knight Rises and I think maybe Toy Story 3 as well. We tried a new segment on this episode. Hope you like it. We're going to call it Critics Corner with Armond White, and hopefully you guys like it. Anyway, stay tuned for our next episode, which will be about something. I don't know yet. We'll see. Anyway, goodbye. Okay.
How many roads? Sorry, go ahead. You were just about to say something.
Well, it was that, actually. How many roads
Must a man walk down
yeah.
before you call him a man?
But important information about transferring balances to your bank account and your money. This concert sucks. Well, everyone, wow, that had to sound strange, looking like my voice. Okay, let me try that sentence over.
That made absolutely no sense.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 30 of the HooperCast. The HooperCast has turned 30. Those mean the exact same thing as the other. Hey, welcome.
Hey.
Oh,
I thought you were talking to me.
I have to start writing those down just beforehand. Like,
yeah,
you know, because I'm clearly not capable of doing it off the top of my head anymore.
True.
Anyway, episode 30 is going to be a little bit short. We're just going to maybe cover some film news. But first, I wanted to do a little course correction. A couple days ago, I posted, I think it's the only podcast, well, okay, the only one since, like, the first two that I did, that got posted the same day that they were recorded. I went to the Crescent Theater on Tuesday night to go see The Master. Just a quick update, the Crescent has surpassed its goal. As of 6:24 p.m. on Thursday, October 4th, they are actually up to $81,227 with almost 800 backers. So they will have the funds to buy the projector and continue showing films in downtown Mobile. So congratulations to the Crescent Theater. And I hadn't heard much about it. I just heard that there were good performances, and it was Paul Thomas Anderson, and it was presumably about Scientology. And so I saw it, and I didn't like it, and it was long, and it was just it just would not end. And so when I got home, I felt like I had to say something about it. Having had a couple of drinks at the movie, coming and acquiring a grudge, and then not preparing notes, I came home and turned on the microphone and just went. I still stand by what I said for the most part, but I didn't really mention good things about it. I think what I mentioned about it that wasn't good was that it was too long, and a lot of the scenes didn't seem to have much consequence, and I never felt like there were any stakes, and I didn't really like or care about any of the characters. They weren't really unlikable. It was just like I couldn't relate to them really, and there were random scenes where someone would be jerking off. I say like it happens every scene. It happens, I think, 2 or 3 times, but each time it seemed extremely out of place. So, like one of them was well, it happens at the very beginning. Like, they're building, like, Joaquin Phoenix is, like, and all his military buddies are on the beach, and they sculpt, like a naked woman in the sand, and so he comes over and starts, like, humping it, and they all start laughing, like, vigorously humping it, like...
Sorry, there's a fly in here that I cannot get out of here.
I thought you were
it's like Breaking Bad in here.
I thought you were like, stop it, Hooper! Stop it!
Stop talking about this!
No one wants to hear about this.
There's a contaminant in here. I can't deal with this.
Anyway, the point is that I was always, at every point in the movie, I always sort of thought, what was the point of that? After really thinking about it, it's one of the movies that I like a little better after like a day, after really thinking about it, because it does spur a lot of thought. But the movie definitely does seem to be about Scientology, because I feel like they didn't want to make one explicitly about it. One, because the Church of Scientology seems really really sensitive about what is said about them, and they are not shy about suing people for anything. And so I feel like there's enough similarities in there to Scientology, like to the religion and to the way in which it was founded, and even to L. Ron Hubbard, which is apparently Philip Seymour Hoffman does resemble to a degree. I haven't seen pictures, so I can't say if I personally agree, but that's what I've heard. And but it seems enough like that to pretty much imply like this is about Scientology, but there's enough differences to where it's like it could be argued that it's not, so there's no like legal ramifications. But what I didn't say for the movie was that pretty much the fact that Joaquin Phoenix is like, I mentioned that he's like this destructive kind of alcoholic who makes these drinks out of like paint thinner and like gasoline, and like he's not one of those alcoholics who's like he finds your booze and drinks it. He just finds chemicals and mixes them and drinks them. So he's like destroying his body, and so at the same time he runs into Philip Seymour Hoffman, who's like creating this big movement. And what I didn't point out was it's a really good relationship between them, in that because for Joaquin Phoenix, his life now has direction. He now has something he's striving towards, because they're all suggesting that he's really the key to this thing. And for Philip Seymour Hoffman, Joaquin Phoenix is like this project for him, like my movement's really going to help him. And so they kind of need each other in a way, but they're both equally like nuts, because he'll be all calm and like, well, you see, the religion is, or we try to heal people, and someone's like, what you're talking about is the definition of a cult. And he's like, no, it's not. And the guy's like, yeah, but fuck you! Like, he yells at the guy, like, so it's kind of... Oh, and I forgot to mention that Ginger Matt Damon from Breaking Bad, what's his name? Jesse Plemons?
Yeah.
Is in the movie. And I heard someone... I won't take credit for this joke, but someone else said, every part of him that does not look like Matt Damon is Philip Seymour Hoffman, because he was perfectly cast as his son. And even his son at one point says to Joaquin Phoenix, like, dude, my dad's just making this shit up. Like, he's just, he says, like, it's all, I don't say anything because he, like, provides for me and everything, but he's making this up. So,
right.
But the whole point of the movie is, I guess, it's about their relationship. And it really does spur a lot of discussion about, stuff. So, but I still stand by that it's one of those movies where you're going to feel, depending on your mindset, you might feel not guilty, but you might feel like there's something wrong with you for not thinking it's good because every critic says it's good. But I can't think of one person that I know who goes to movies just to see a movie who's going to like this movie at all. It's not for the general audience. I don't think it's intended to be. But at the risk of repeating myself from stuff I said earlier in this conversation and stuff I said in the first review of it, it's better than I give it credit for, but I still think it's super boring to watch.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to clear that up. There are things to like, but I think it's almost like, for me, it's like reading, I don't know, a book for school. It's like, I really didn't want to read the book. It's good that we're talking about it now, but reading the book was really boring and I didn't want to do it.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry to go off on like a little tangent, but I felt like I felt like I wasn't fair to it at the time. So now I'm trying to be fair to it. Well, how are you, Dustin? Have you seen anything?
No. Not really.
All right.
Just kind of chilling. Got the Avengers on Blu-ray. Been watching all the special features and junk.
Yeah, me too. I cannot find the second screen experience. Like, where is that? Is that it's on the Blu-ray, right?
No, I think it syncs up like you download an app or something, and then it's a second screen, like literally like on your iPhone or iPad.
Oh, okay.
I think.
All right. Damn.
Yeah, yeah. It says, here's the little flyer that I got with my Blu-ray, and it says, congratulations, you now own Marvel's The Avengers second screen experience. Enter the SHIELD database, access personal files,
there it is.
get started. Download the free app for your iPad, iPhone, or computer. Then start the Blu-ray and then launch the app, and it will seamlessly sync with the movie.
So it'll sync my computer here with my television here?
I would assume, yes. I've never done it.
What? How is that possible?
I mean, all that shows up on your other screen is like
It's like
trivia.
the information page of them?
Yeah,
because that stuff is
it's like,
that stuff.
Hey, did you know Steve Rogers was frozen in ice? And it's like, yes, I did. Thank you. Did you know Stan Lee created Captain America? Yes. Okay, please, God, stop. They kept trying to do that for Breaking Bad too, like during this last season, like start your second screen experience now or whatever. And I was like, no, that's distracting and annoying.
Did you know meth stands for methamphetamine? Yes.
Yes, I've watched 5 seasons of this. I know. And then they have that for like Disney movies too now. So I guess Marvel is a Disney movie. So
yeah.
It's like, hey, when you're watching Tron, look at all of these behind the scenes photos. And I'm like, can I just watch Tron, please? Can I just watch it? I don't want to have them shoot it in still images.
See, what I do like is when they have this is a horrible example, but they did it in a good way. Sherlock Holmes 2. The Blu-ray had like I do like second screen. I think that's one thing they have on Blu-ray that's great. But you don't watch that when you watch it the first time through. You watch it, and then you watch it again, like, and then at least for Sherlock Holmes 2, there's Robert Downey Jr. and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then like, because the screen's like the movie's like full screen, and then it kind of fades into like a quarter of the screen, and then there's Robert Downey Jr. like standing in front of it, like to talk to you about the movie, and then on the left of him is like all of a sudden there's this concept art, and then little like videos playing while he's talking about choreographing the fight scene that they're showing at the same time. And it's all, I like that, but I don't like trivia blips popping up. You may as well just be tapping my shoulder to interrupt me in the movie, like, hey, guess what?
Well, and see, that's what second screen experience is. It's just like stuff for you to read or look at. I'm like, I'd rather just watch the movie.
Right.
Like, what you're talking about, I think they had that on, I think it was, they may have it on Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But I know they have it on Part 1 with Jason Isaacs, I believe.
Yeah.
Like, it'll, like, shrink down, and he'll be like, hey, here's how we shot this. And I'm like, you weren't even there. How do you know? You're in, like, 5 seconds of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I do like it, but it's one of those things where if you're going to do it, go all out, show, like, behind-the-scenes stuff. That, and sometimes it's like, if you actually click the center button in the middle of it, you'll go to that special feature. And then you'll return to the movie, and so that's cool, but
that can be cool. Yeah, you're right.
But it doesn't sound like this is something I want to explore. Besides, all this information pages, the stuff that it's showing you, is all on. You can just read those things separately.
Yeah,
in the actual to the left of the play button, they always think they're clever. Like there's that little thing somewhere in the menu that if you click it, there's extra stuff, and it's like the first thing I do when I get it goes, "Where's that hidden thing?" And it's like you literally hit the left button and it's there. It's like, oh, that was easy.
Yeah. Obviously, the Shield logo is gonna light up when I do this.
Right. Why is there a big Shield logo next to play?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like, there's some really cool features on that. There's a really cool deleted scene, or I guess it's more like an extended scene, of Hawkeye and Black Widow fighting, and not each other, but aliens. And it's really cool because they kind of have like visual effects breakdowns in there too, and it's just cool to watch the movie come together like that. The one thing that I think is kind of weird is the commentary is just Joss Whedon. Like, there's nobody else.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping, you'd have, like,
everyone.
Joss and, Robert Downey Jr. and everybody.
Oh, man, that'd be great.
Or at least just those two, like... But it's just kind of like one guy talking to himself.
Yeah.
Which I watched maybe, like, 20 minutes of it. It's not, like, too boring, but it is kind of like...
Yeah.
Why bother?
The only thing that could have made that worse is if it was, like Kevin Feige by himself, like, hey,
or just a random grip, and he's like, oh yeah,
hey, I'm Stan.
I put a light on this right here.
Yeah,
Did you watch the deleted scenes of like the alternate opening and ending with Agent Hill?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
What was that supposed to be in place of?
The movie opens with like a shot of like the cube,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like going in through like the energy and everything, and you hear like a voiceover like, "It's on Earth and they will die," and whatnot. And then like it's all of that like junk, and then it like cuts into like I don't know if it's Nick Fury's helicopter, but a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is Nick Fury's
is,
helicopter landing at the SHIELD base, and so the Maria Hill stuff is like her like chilling, and like the people on the screen are like, "This whole thing was a catastrophe," and she's like, "Yeah, it was," and then she like stops talking, and then it cuts into the helicopter, but there's also like shots that like it's not really foreshadowing if it's blatantly like shots from the end of the film, and you have like a shot of like Thor's hammer with like blood dripping off of it.
That's right, yeah.
And a couple other things like that, and you know some of that's kind of cool, but I thought it was kind of a waste of time personally.
Yeah, and it seemed like it was almost supposed to be like there's a helicopter and all that, and then that's her talking to them after the events of the movie transpire, because then when it's done, you know, the walls come down. She's like, "Yeah, I'm not telling you anything. See ya." I'm like,
yeah, peace.
Yeah, later.
Yeah.
I do kind of wish that they would have had more for her to do, but that's more of a complaint about the movie, I guess, than the Blu-ray itself. But
Sure.
It was interesting. I mean, it was all character. It was all character appropriate, you know.
Yeah, true. There is a deleted scene with a bunch of like leftover stuff from Captain America.
Yes.
Did you see that
with
little
the
sequence?
with the all his dead friends, and then Peggy Carter's
Stanley.
Oh yeah.
Get a number, you moron.
Ask for a number, you moron. Yeah. The way it would have been so funny is if you looked at him and be like, Tim? Like, oh my god, like you knew him from like the war. Steve?
Here's the thing about that. Like, it's really cool to watch. I don't think it was necessary, so like I know why they cut it out. But it was really cool. Captain America is one of my favorite characters in the Avengers, and he might be my favorite. Who knows? I don't know. I never can pick a favorite, but anyway, he's up there. And anyway, seeing more of him would be cool. So I don't know. Maybe they're saving that kind of stuff for Captain America 2 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Ah. Wait, is that on your end or my end? That's on my end. Oh, stop it. Oh, sorry. This really creepy trailer started playing. It was just, all of a sudden I heard, la 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 la, and I was like, oh, stop. Oh, I'm sorry.
So, Armond White has
our good
come out
friend,
and said that he believes Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is better than Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is sure to cause a stir, which I think is what he's all about anyway. He wrote like a whole article about it, but evidently what he says is like that The Last Crusade is the best of the Jones movies, which I agree. I that's always been my favorite. And then that he doesn't dislike Raiders of the Lost Ark, but he believes it's the worst of the four because Spielberg improved in many ways with each sequel. And in regards to the Crystal Skull, he says it's in fact far richer than Raiders and builds on Raiders' ideas and complicates them. Arriving 2 decades later, it is the series' true sequel, refined and elegant. I'm in the minority. I actually like Crystal Skull. I mean, it's not great.
Yeah.
But it's like mindless fun that if it's on, I'll watch it. And I have it. I mean, I don't watch it very often, but I have it. And then, but I wouldn't say it's refined or elegant. Like, it's what I said. It's like mindless fun to me. The other ones are a lot smarter. But, anyway, Armond White is just I don't know if he's brilliant or if he's just stupid.
Well, he's very smart. I think he's very smart. I just think that it's almost like he has a certain kind of logic, and there's not really anything wrong with it, but he applies it too literally to movies. Like, it's a bad example, but he was talking about how, like, Jason Statham is, like, to him, Jason Statham's a better actor than, like, this isn't what he said, but, like, I don't know, Tommy Lee Jones. And he was basically arguing that Statham possesses this physicality and this believability that he didn't get from this other actor. And so I'm sort of like, well, I get you're right about the physicality, but that's not all that a role is, you know. But but his standards are absolute, but they don't often. I don't know, and he didn't like Toy Story 3 because I shouldn't even be really talking about this because I obviously can't remember a word he said, but it was pretty much like he didn't like Toy Story 3 because
he felt like it was product placement for the whole
yes,
movie. Like
that's what it was. Yeah, and it's like, well, these kids would have, you know, the little rolling telephone thing or the monkey, like what?
Yeah,
or an Etch-a-Sketch.
See, I would say he just seems to like, you know, popcorn entertainment. But then there's like stuff like Toy Story 3, which is popcorn, but it's like, you know, I mean, there's more to it.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't seem like he's consistent as far as like, oh, I like this. And so you'd think, like, I think he said he liked, you know, like Transformers 2 and stuff. So it's like, because I think, you know, while the majority of critics were like, I hate that, he was like, oh, it's pretty good. But then he doesn't, like, stay consistent. You'd say, okay, well, he must like Battleship, you know, but, like, I mean, and obviously, again, I don't know how he really feels about these movies. I'm just sort of spitballing here.
Right.
But he's not consistent in between, like, you know, like, it's not like he has a favorite genre and then all of those are great, or he doesn't seem to, you know, fall into a category at all. He just kind of is his own thing, and it happens to be contradictory. And I think a lot of people label him as, like, a troll, like he's just doing this for attention. And to an extent, he may be, but I think there's more to it than that. I think he is putting thought into it. It just happens to be like a different train of thought than everyone else.
It's like he likes popcorn entertainment, which is just fine, but then he tries to justify it on like an intellectual level, like, you know, why Transformers 2 is better than Gangs of New York. It's like,
yeah,
you know, I would never defend Transformers 2.
Things.
Yeah, but he's just like, but he'll put them on the same plane, which I guess in a way we all should be able to do, but at the same time you have to add context. Like, you can't really judge them on the same plane. They're not, it's like the action is better in which movie? Well, Transformers 2, so it's a better action movie. Well, yeah, but you're not watching Gangs of New York for an action movie. I mean, people fight in it, but, like, what's wrong with you? I am curious about if Armond White did an Avengers review. He must have.
I pulled up his review, yeah.
Oh, all right.
It says, Pavlov's franchise, the delusion of Marvel's The Avengers.
Oh, dear. All right, let's hear it.
All right, here we go. Previous Marvel Comics superheroes, such as Iron Man, the Hulk, Captain America, and Thor, were likely rough-cut puzzle pieces that looked odd and unfinished by themselves. Pretend movies derived from already established brands. Most of them, particularly Jon Favreau's dung-colored Iron Man, were poorly directed. Now, fitted together in Marvel's The Avengers, the superhero tales still don't quite cohere. Instead, each superhero's traits and powers have been simultaneously inflated yet streamlined. Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, barely a cameo in last year's Iron Man 2, is almost a character here, with the sole intent to overwhelm, not merely entertain. That's why a corporate brand is part of the title. I don't think that it's really a part of the title.
A corporate brand. Now he's like this big hippie. It's because they own the movie, and it's announcing the fact that they own the rights to even the title of the Avengers. It makes sense to put Marvel's on there, and they're their own studio. It's kind of pushing like, hey, Marvel Studios.
But is that the official title, Marvel's The Avengers, or is it just The Avengers?
It is Marvel's The Avengers. Like, that's what's on the the box and everything. But
yeah, I see that now. But That's weird. I never called it that. That's stupid.
Well, no one's ever going to call it Marvel's The Avengers, but...
Yeah. All right, so then he says, a live-action version of the comic book series about Earth's greatest superheroes, Marvel's The Avengers, is promoted as the Ultimate Comic-Con, the franchise of franchises, the movie for which contemporary audiences have been trained to anticipate and genuflect. This whopping sales campaign manipulates immature, underdeveloped adolescent taste into the mistaken notion of cultural fulfillment. The Avengers is neither good nor important. Yet, the more it it's so matter of fact. It's neither good nor important. That could have been the entire review, just that one little thing. The Avengers is neither good nor important. The end. All right, here we go. Hold on. All right. I lost it. Okay. All right, so The Avengers is neither good nor important, yet the more it consummates Marvel Comics' current strategy to secure the adolescent comic book, graphic novel, video game market, it illustrates Hollywood's shameless insufficiencies. To discuss The Avengers as a story, or even a thrill ride, is delusional. Best to tally some of the actors' deceits, which parallels the media's complicit self-deception as they trivialize the emotional satisfaction that is supposed to come from modernizing myth and legend. What is going on in this review here? The Captain America role traps Chris Evans, who was a great tease as the Human Torch, in an uninteresting anachronism. Now, a truly faded idea of American exceptionalism. Same holds for the Halloween freakazoids, Thor and Bruce Banner / the Hulk, a CGI'd Mark Ruffalo. Jeremy Renner as Archer, Hawkeye, seems to be trying for Katniss's evil twin in the Hunger Games.
Oh, shut up.
What? Because they both have bows and arrows? Is that makes them twins?
For the record, Hawkeye was a character in a written medium way before.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, that's like Jesus copied Neo. What?
Yeah, wait, hold on, what? As villainous Loki, Tom Hiddleston was so moving in Spielberg's War Horse and Terrence Davies' The Deep Blue Sea, comes closest to giving a performance. He suggests the intense young aspirant Peter O'Toole, though without the glorious voice and no story details to frame his petulance. Just a pretext for the superheroes to fight his plan for world domination. This guy. The film's only probably hero is zillionaire gadgeteer Tony Stark, who Robert Downey has finally learned to make his own using hipster witticisms that lent this basically unhip movie erratic self-satire.
Well, wait.
Oh,
finally learned to make his own? Did he not do that in the previous two movies with the same exact character?
Nope. No,
yeah,
he was dumb in those movies.
He just really couldn't get a grip on his character until this one.
Only a capitalist icon with Stark's endless resources makes sense to an audience of semi-illiterate consumers catered to by the leisure industries and discouraged from interest in characterization, theme, or ideas. That's why Sam Jackson's Nick Fury can simply watch action from the sidelines, occasionally firing off a gunshot or pretending to be leader in his ghetto eye patch. What? Insert convenient Obama comment here.
What?
What
does it have to do with Obama?
What does that even mean?
Oh, I guess he's comparing him to Obama, and that I guess that's what he did.
In that they both have ghetto eye patches?
I think in that they both watch from the sidelines and claim to be leaders. I don't know.
Way to get ridiculously political in
it's
4 seconds.
Such an odd thing to say.
I know. Director get this. Director Josh Whedon.
Oh,
misspelled Whedon, by the way. Brings TV squalor, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, to his second big screen outing. Whedon doesn't have Zack Snyder's personal style. You gotta be kidding me.
No, you're right. He has a better one.
That at least made Watchmen and Sucker Punch thoroughly idiosyncratic and fitfully compelling.
Oh my god.
I never saw Sucker Punch. I liked Watchmen, but whatever.
Yeah. What?
Whedon directs impersonally, which is to say he manages the proceedings as one runs a fast food joint. This analogy ought to appeal to the very fast food patrons who flock to the Avengers, yet cannot accept that an artistic enterprise should be more than ground patties of optional substance.
I feel like Armond White has a giant gripe with like America that he can't say explicitly. So just every movie of his is like he turns into like a statement of like why we all suck. It's just like,
yes,
the Avengers is bad because you guys like fast food and
Like Whedon, they can't tell the difference between art and convictionless product. I don't think anybody's ever argued that Whedon lacks conviction on the part of the Avengers. This proves the brainwashing that has happened to pop audiences in generations since comic books and TV stole their imaginations from cinema and literature. Much of this tragedy has to do with the impact of television, Whedon's background, which has destroyed popular understanding of narrative complexity. Each superhero should represent overcoming some social difficulty. Now they're just gimmicks. Whedon simply makes the action go on and on. He has no sense of dramatic build or rising to a climax. He overloads the spectator with one climax after another, imitating Michael Bay's angles, particularly the same skyscraper-devouring turbine effects from the last Transformers flick. Unlike the lyrical teen fantasy chronicle, or Neville Dean Taylor's daring Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, which addressed life, death, mortality, Marvel's The Avengers has little to say other than, buy me. Millions of mentally hijacked moviegoers will respond like Pavlov's dog barking, wow. That's Armond White on The Avengers.
Oh my god. We should turn this into like a weekly thing. Every episode we read at least one Armond White review.
That would be awesome. We should.
Alright, well, I've got his Dark Knight Rises one pulled up, and I'm so curious. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises markets mediocrity. A better movie than The Dark Knight Rises would invite discussion of its content, but interpretation, what's that, says Avengers fans. But interpretation isn't even required of this third entry into Christopher Nolan's Batman franchise. A film of empty spectacle, its actual content, formulaic violence, humorless dialogue, unvarying solemnity, runs second to the blatant process of supplying a pre-sold audience with brand-name characters and predictable action.
The dialogue shouldn't be humorous. People are dying.
Humorless. I see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, but I have more of a problem of brand name characters. Would you be happier if the Batman movie didn't have Batman in it?
Yeah.
Whatever.
That makes no sense. Formulaic violence.
Why? I like how it's formulaic because other movies feature people in bat costumes fighting terrorists with.
Yes. I just pulled it up too, so I'm gonna read along with you.
Why bother detailing the film's routine story when Nolan can't get beneath its surface? Demoralized Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale, loses his fortune and retraces his previous torturous superhero training to protect Gotham City from another cast of overly familiar nemeses: sneak thief Catwoman, Anne Hathaway, homicidal freak Bane, Tom Hardy, and an unlikely foe thrown in the last half hour.
Okay, I'll give him that.
Yeah. The Dark Knight Rises only offers an economics lesson in how an entire culture gets indoctrinated into buying repackaged characters, set pieces, and hackneyed style, not a great modern myth. Instead, all the action movie reflexes learned from the James Bond films, the opening airplane stunt, Indiana Jones flicks, battles against world historical evil, and comic book movies, innumerable copycat origin tales seem for naught. Consumer amnesia rises.
Copycat origin tales, like
copying its own origin tale, because that's allowed.
Or are you complaining that other people are copying Batman's origin tale?
Right.
I don't know what you're saying.
I'm sorry that it's almost like when people were saying about John Carter, like, we've seen all this before, and it's like, you've seen all this before because this story was the first to do it, and everyone copied Edgar Rice Burroughs. And it's unfortunate that now that original idea is on the screen, it's been done already. It's not, Sorry if the origin story is 70 years old. There's kind of a history with this character. He goes on to say, when Batman was just a comic book figure, it appealed to youth and embodied an innocent sense of justice and necessary heroism. Then the graphic novel version, Frank Miller's 1986 The Dark Knight Returns, converted the fable into casual cynicism that Nolan treats in his now overscaled sophomoric manner. I'm necessary evil, Bane hisses during one of his rampages, appealing to jaded youth and tilting Nolan's interest away from storytelling and towards trite, cynical mood. Even I mistook the franchise's previous mass killings and implacably malevolent adversaries for significant, sickening ugliness because they resonated 9/11 anxiety. But as The Dark Knight Rises plods toward the 3-hour point and Nolan drops in newsy jibes, it becomes obvious that his political evocations mean nothing. There hasn't been a trilogy this shapeless and unresonant since The Lord of the Rings, partly to ensure another Nolan sequel, Dark Robin Lays an Egg. What? I have such a problem with that sentence.
First off, you're comparing this as a bad trilogy to The Lord of the Rings, which you also think is a bad trilogy. What? What are you smoking? And Dark Robin Lays an Egg, what does that even mean?
I think the Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, Robin laid an egg.
I know, but Dark Robin?
I don't know who Dark Robin is.
What? What is he talking about? And what? That just makes no sense. There's a better way of saying that. And also, I disagree with this. All right, go ahead.
The 9/11 shockwaves of Nolan's terrorist bomb-laden Gotham City include an explosive football stadium extravaganza no deeper than a coming attractions trailer and offhand references to Occupy Wall Street and Catwoman's felonious rage against the upper class.
Okay, well, Occupy Wall Street happened after the movie was written.
Yeah.
Okay.
But none of these opportunistic gimmicks, whether a Law and Order subplot or underclass rioting, relate to any character's dramatized feelings.
I disagree.
Bale's bummed-out crusader lacks convincing moral resilience. See his reluctant hero in Zhang Zimu's stirring Flowers of War instead. Okay, that's irrelevant.
He lacks convincing...
He lacks convincing moral resilience, which I fully disagree with, because that's the crux of the movie.
That's the crux of the Batman character. Is convincing moral resilience.
Joseph... Oh, you're gonna hate this. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Robin mopes in isolation. First of all, thank you for spoiling that, Armond White, in your review of the movie. Second of all, he's not Robin!
Yes. And third of all, mopes in isolation. I didn't really get that at all.
I don't think so at all.
Okay, anyway.
Hathaway's one-note femme fatale never develops like Michelle Pfeiffer's most feminist Hellcat in Tim Burton's Batman Returns.
Batman Returns was garbage. Michelle Pfeiffer is garbage.
One-dimensional or one-note never develops like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer literally died and cats licked her back to life. That makes no sense.
Tom Hardy's Bane, a Hannibal Lecter / Darth Vader composite, remains muffled, his motivations masked like his face. Okay, first of all, well, I disagree fully that he's like Hannibal Lecter because he does not eat people.
Or Vader, really, at all.
You're just saying that because he has a breathing apparatus.
I mean, how many characters wear a mask? But then, and the only reason he says Hannibal Lecter is because he's wearing a mask.
Right.
Like, that makes no sense. Anyway.
It's a purely visual description and has nothing to do with the characters at all.
And I'd rather they did what they did, which was withhold his motivations until the end.
Really.
Right. That worked better for me.
Yeah.
Than to have him come out in the first scene and be like, well, I'm going to do this because of this. And it's like,
this is what I'm doing, Batman. I thought it's important you know why I'm doing this. This pseudo-apocalyptic marathon never pays off for consumers. The last half hour is a series of rushed fight and chase scenes, none interconnected and all executed without amazement. Just Nolan's dull relentlessness.
I disagree.
His montage of betrayals, revolts, annihilations, plus sentimental flashbacks is not accomplished fun like Brad Bird and Tom Cruise's kinetic cartoon Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, but simply a mess. Kids don't realize...
It's not supposed to be like Mission Impossible.
I know. Kids don't realize Nolan is peddling used goods. The Matrix 3 Revolutions. Or you do know he didn't direct that, right, Armond White? And it's not even called The Matrix 3. Or how short he falls of cinema's classic visionary style and existential paranoia, which Fritz Lang mastered almost a century ago. First of all, shut up. No one cares about Fritz Lang anymore. They really don't. Everyone who pretends they do is lying. Second of all, I would argue that this is better than anything Fritz Lang has done because it's not freaking boring. I might have to retract that because Fritz Lang did some good stuff, but that's an unfair comparison. And
yeah, it is unfair.
For adults, Nolan's continued exploitation of 9/11, from a shameless Star-Spangled Banner tease to devastated urban landscape, merely sells real-life horror back to us without a depth of feeling. What's that, Avengers fans say?
This guy is a bone to pick with the Avengers.
Unlike the Joker's maniacal outrages, The Dark Knight Rises is dull, obvious calculation. Nolan's cynicism is symbolized by a mushroom cloud climax that wastes one of the most profound specters of the modern imagination. In pop terms, Nolan hasn't got the wit to nuke the fridge. Spielberg's rich, still misunderstood, and anthropological jest. But in commercial terms, the way Nolan turns comic book frivolity into hipster nihilism drops a bomb on our cultural economy.
Okay.
Okay, Armond White. I found the Toy Story 3 one, by the way. I don't know if you want to do that or not. Would you like me to? I'm such a fan of this. It's a lot shorter than the other ones.
All right, we'll read this one.
All right.
And then we'll save some others. For
I want to save some others.
I want to do this
because I feel like I'm just going nuts like a buffet here. Okay, it's called Bored Game. Like I'm bored. Pixar has now made 3 movies explicitly about toys, yet the best movie depiction of how toys express human experiences remains Whit Stillman's 1990 Metropolitan.
Shut up. Shut up, Armond White.
As class-conscious Tom Townsend, Edward Clements, tries fitting in with East Side debutantes, he discovers his toy cowboy pistol in his estranged father's trash. Without specifying the model, Stillman evokes past childhood, lost innocence, and Townsend's longing for even imagined potency. But Toy Story 3 is so besotted with brand names and product placement that it stops being about the innocent pleasures of imagination, the usefulness of toys, and strictly celebrates consumerism. I feel like a 6-year-old having to report in how Toy Story 3 two dolls, Sheriff Woody, Tom Hanks, and Buzz Lightyear, Tim Allen, try to save a toy box of childhood playthings from either disuse or imprisonment as donations to a daycare center because their human owner, 17-year-old Andy, packs them up as he heads off to college. The toys wage battle with the daycare center's cynical veteran cast-off, Lotsa Hugs and Big Baby. His name is his name is Lotsa Huggin' Bear, first of all.
Go to IMDb, Armond White.
No!
It's so easy.
But none of these digital cartoon characters reflect human experience.
I disagree fully. I'm sorry, Armond White. Maybe you're a machine. Mr. Spock over here. No emotion.
It's essentially a board game that only the brainwashed will buy into. Well... Besides, Transformers 2 already explored the same plot to greater thrill and opulence. What are you talking about?
What? You gotta be kidding me.
Nothing alike at all.
How is Transformers 2 even vaguely similar? That makes no sense.
There's not even toys. Okay. By the way, with, you know how you said, like, he makes weird jokey references. The picture in the review is Woody on the phone with like the little telephone car thing, And the caption says, Lady Gaga and Beyonce in an alternate video for Telephone. It's like, what?
Hilarious.
Yeah. While Toy Story 3's various hazards and cliffhangers evidence more creativity than typical Pixar product, an Inferno scene was promising. Lots of hugs, cannily evokes mundane insensitivity. I admit to simply not digging the toys' come-to-life fantasy. I don't babysit children, so I don't have to. Nor their...
You're a
what a dick. Nor their inevitable repetition of narrative formula. The gang of animated talking objects journey from one place to another and back, again and again. It recalls how Tim Burton's atrocious Alice in Wonderland repeated narrative stasis without exercising the famous line, "It takes all the running you can do just to stay in the same place." Burton's omission of that legendary therapeutic slogan parallels how Toy Story 3 suckers fans into thinking they can accept this drivel without paying for it politically, aesthetically, or spiritually.
Not everything's political, Armond White. This is a movie about toys.
I don't think the toys...
Stop looking for political meaning behind it.
The toys have an opinion about, like taxes or, like, abortion.
Yeah. What in the world?
Or Social Security.
The Galactic Alliance supports Mitt Romney. Like that's going to happen. Like...
Oh my god. Alright, look at the Barbie and Ken sequence where the sexually dubious male doll struts in a chick flick fashion show. Since it serves as the same timekeeping purpose as a chick flick digression, it's not satirical. We're meant to enjoy our susceptibility, not question it, as in Joe Dante's more challenging Small Soldiers.
Okay.
Okay, I love Small Soldiers, but it's not challenging at all. It's...
Have shrill critics forgotten that movie? That's his next line. As if that's a long forgotten masterpiece.
Do they mistake Toy Story 3's opening day for 4th of July patriotism? No, I don't. When Toy Story 3 emulates the suspense of Prison Break and horror films, it becomes fitfully amusing, more than can be said for Wall-E or Up.
You're an idiot. I'm sorry.
But this humor depends on the recognition of worn-out toys, which is no different from those lousy Shrek gags. Oh my god!
Oh, it's very different.
I disagree so much.
You gotta be kidding me.
Only Big Baby, with one keen eye and one lazy eye, and Mr. Potato Head's deconstruction into Dolly's slip-sliding persistence of memory are worthy of mature delectation. But these references don't meaningfully expand even when the story gets weepy. Did you want him to pause and go, by the way, I'm a famous painting?
Yeah.
You either get the reference or you don't. That's why it's a reference. The Toy Story franchise isn't for children and adults. It's for non-thinking children and adults. But when a movie is this formulaic, it's no longer a toy because it does all the work for you. It's a sap story.
What the heck? It does all the work for you. Well...
I'm not going to do the work. I didn't direct it.
I mean... What the heck? Keep in mind, Armond White, that it's also written for 5-year-olds who don't understand subtleties of, expressions and, the fact that they hang, 3 frames too long, film critics can be like, oh, they're hanging on him, so obviously something's happening. A 5-year-old doesn't understand that, so you kind of have to force feed them stuff.
Yeah, well, that's a little taste of what is probably going to be a new segment on the HooperCast. Well, that was fun, Dustin.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, what's our shout out, Dustin? Who are we shouting out to?
Oh, well, we got to shout out to Keel.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, that's right. Everyone really needs to go over to YouTube and search Drink and Play, because our friend Keel has this thing called Drink and Play where it's what you think it is. He gets hammered, and then he plays a video game, makes a video about it, and it's really funny. So everyone should go check that out. Have you seen them, Dustin?
I have.
Yes,
they're very funny.
They're very funny. I think I'm literally going to watch one after we're done here.
Yeah, no, it's really funny. He did a few episodes and then seemed to take a break, and now he's back, and it's
full force.
Really fun stuff. They're short, so it won't take up too much of your time. They're really fun to watch, and they're really funny. So yeah, check them out.
Mm-hmm. We should have Keel on the podcast.
We should.
That'd be awesome.
He's a film student. He knows stuff.
Oh, yeah, he knows a lot. We need to shout out to our extraterrestrial friend,
Shrinox.
I like the fact that every alien we have is the syllable. It's always 2 syllables, and the emphasis is on E, ah. Like it's Fleenox, Shreebox, Reebok. Like,
Reebok, yeah. All right, well, along with, I don't even remember what I just said.
You said Shrenock. Please be kind to our viewers. Shrenock.
Okay, aside from just Shrenock, we also have to shout out to Commander Flipstein. No, man, that sounds Jewish. That was just the first thing that came up. Flipstein, for some reason. Now I'm just imagining like Ben Stein, like in space. Like,
are you implying that because of his heritage he couldn't achieve such a high ranking as commander?
Okay, we have from Klybor Shregnorp. Klybor Shregnorp is a longtime viewer, and he loves the podcast and actually loves the picture of Hooper that's on the main page, so much so that he says he makes love to this photograph every night.
Oh, dear. I guess depending on what he looks like, I'm a little flattered.
Well, his name is Klybor Shregnop. You might want to imagine what that kind of person might look like. Probably not pretty.
I don't want to assume, Dustin, he might be a very nice gentleman. I don't know why I said it like that. Gentleman. He might be a gentleman. Is he served with Commander Flipstein?
He does. Commander Flipstein recently conquered his planet, and so he is now the president of that planet.
Well, fantastic.
Of course, they don't use the term president.
The Spielkus of the.
Yes, the Spielkus.
The Spielkus. Well, I guess that puts a cork in. That's a weird thing to say. That puts a cork in it. I guess that concludes episode 30. Yay! We've done
Hooray.
30 of these things, Dustin.
I know, that's crazy.
All right.
What in the world? Oh my God!
What?
Oh my God, that's so scary. I just logged on to Slash Film and they have a pop up
for Sinister.
Jessica Biel's The Tall Man.
Oh.
And so what I heard was just a little kid going like la 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 la.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And I was like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" Oh my God, that was so scary. Because I immediately looked at your lips to see if you were doing
if I was doing
it, but then you weren't.
That's what I did when it started too. I thought it was you, and I was like, "Oh no!" Like,
they're here. It's
happening.
I don't know how, but they found me.
Well, thank you everyone for listening, and have a great day.
See you next time. Until next time, stay hooping.
Oh, sorry. I actually got a response.
Oh, good.
It was Caitlin. Caitlin emailed me, and she said, "Here it is. That's the hoop, and I'm out of here."
That's the hoop, and I'm out of here.
She said, "Yeah, I know it sucks. I tried. Wah."
Wah! She's Wario.
Goodbye, everyone. Stay hooping.
Bye.
And
Bye.
see you later.